right, welcome everybody to the Sunday night chart chat. We haven't had one of these in a while. This is one that's very special. Look, we're on a roll here. A lot of these stocks are moving. Genius. That's right, GNS stock I told you about a couple of days ago at $1. It actually, I mean, this is amazing. I told you guys this was going to go from $1. It was going to double to $2. It did go to $2. Then I told you it was going to go to $5. Sure enough, what happened? It went to $5. And when it went to $5, I also put out a tweet saying, hey, this is the top. Look, this is purely divine inspiration. Let me pull up some of these charts right here. Let's go to the chart. What are we looking at? Vinco? No. I'm going to look up at the first. Okay, so first let's start off first with the big picture. Let's look at the NASDAQ. Look at a couple of these bellwethers, and then we'll dive into the stocks that are really moving. So we're going to be talking today about Genius, whatever they call themselves, Tesla, DraftKings, FUBO, SOFI, Snap, AMC, XELA, HLBZ, BBIG, WISA, and of course, MULN. And of course, our favorites, NEXCF, AIML, and Novomentis, NMLSF. Let's pull up the NASDAQ chart. Why is my trend lines not showing up? Okay, let's try something different. Let me just give you this chart first. GNS, okay. Again, the stock has been going crazy the last couple of days. You're probably wondering what is in store for Genius. Look, guys, I told you, look, the short squeeze, I think, is over. It's over. If you didn't get out at $5, it's pretty much done. I don't think you're going to have another shot over here. Pretty much take your money and run. Whatever you can get on Monday. If there's a mild rally, I would get the hell out of this thing. I mean, again, basically this thing has really no value. Genius Brands, Genius Group, I keep getting them mixed up. Hang on a second, let me pull this up. I just want to give you kind of an analysis of how this thing really works, GNS. Okay, so very simple analysis. Why do I think this thing is garbage? First thing I look at, again, this is all based on my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. This is my system for finding stocks that have 10x to 100x upside potential. First thing I look at is, besides the charts, what's the market cap? I mean, you're buying a business, right? You're buying a business. Essentially, when you're buying the shares, you're buying a piece of a business. Okay, so you're paying $80 million, right? That's the current value. That's the price. Okay, maybe probably even more. So let's call it 100, fully diluted. You're paying $100 million, and what do you get? What do you get for your money? What are they doing? 18 million revenues? 18 million revenues? I mean, but by the way, the growth is not that great. I mean, okay, so they were doing, let's call it 10 million in 2019, right? So, and again, this has been a COVID thing, so whatever. Okay, so maybe there's been a bit of a boost in some of these things. I know it sounds kind of impressive, but it's not a big number. But here's what you really want to look at: operating income. So now they went from losing 2 million a year to losing, 7.5 million a year. I mean, what is that business worth? I mean, if they're doing 18 million in revenues and they're losing 7.5 million, I mean, the losses keep increasing, like even at a larger proportion of the revenues. I don't think this business is really worth anything. I mean, I kind of look at the fundamentals. I mean, it's kind of like a garbage business. It's sort of like a WeWork. They teach people how to, I guess, like how to be entrepreneurs. I don't see that as a business model. And again, if you can't make money in your own business, how do you teach people how to make money? The whole thing is retarded. Let me see if I can get this NASDAQ chart up. Okay, let me see. Is it coming up? Okay, there we go. Okay. So we got the big trend lines here. This is really important to look at. The overall trend of the market. The overall trend of the market continues to be down. We're pretty much have been in a downtrend. It's pretty much been a nonstop downtrend since November of 21 for the larger cap stocks. Now, for those of you in the penny stocks, you know this has been going on for over 2 years now. We're going on. How long has it been? No, it's over 2 years. Yeah, it started February of 21. It started, Valentine's Day of 21. The markets in microcaps peaked, and they've been going down since. The good news is I think the pennies have bottomed out. Now, the bigger stocks are still on a downtrend. Now, by the way, I made these trend lines months back, and it's amazing how accurate this has been. Notice the NASDAQ can't, every time it goes towards those resistance lines, it breaks down. It just can't break out of them. It can't break out. So look, we have a breakout above the 50 moving average. We might have a couple more days rally, but again, once we hit like 11,300 on NASDAQ, I don't see this. I don't see this thing being able to break out. There's just no. This thing has completely zero strength. The NASDAQ is absolute garbage. Okay, let's dive into a couple of other bellwether stocks. Okay, so the overall trend continues to be down. We're going down in this channel. I think, look, realistically, we could get down to like 7,500 on NASDAQ. So we're really like, we got about 30% more to go. And that could happen usually when, you have that final move. It usually happens pretty quickly. So it might all of a sudden, we might get into February, March, where there's just one giant downdraft. That's where you have the capitulation, and that is the bottom of the market. However, I think the pennies are bottoming out early. I'm going to show you some examples. So first, let's look at Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla. So this is one of, by the way, if you saw the video put out about a couple weeks back saying this thing could be going down to like, I don't know, $11, $12. It just completely broke down. It's been in a downtrend. And, the momentum is just gathering. There's no, it's very, very steep. The down angle is very, very steep. I don't see how this thing bounces. Now, look, in theory, we might have like a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders bottom. In theory, you could say that that's what it looks like. If I was an optimist, I would say that potentially, but again, it would need to break out above 156 to confirm a reversal in the trend. I don't think it's going to do that. I think it's going to probably get close to that. But, look, again, the business is not the stock. I talk about this in my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. By the way, get this on Amazon. It's a #1 bestseller. It's my proven system for finding stocks that can go up 10x to 100x. Again, I've given you just in the last 2 years 10 stocks that went up between 1,000 and 5,000%. But over the course of my career, I had countless stocks that doubled, tripled, 5x, 10x, 20x, 50x, even a couple hundred baggers. And in this book, again, look, this is not, it's not like I came up with these ideas. There's nothing really like, oh my God, this is, look, success leaves clues. Okay, I'm in the business of stock promotion 25 years, right? And I've been, I'm pretty good at kind of picking up on patterns. And I'm wondering, okay, well, what seems to be working? What do the companies that really worked out, what do they have in common? What do the big winners have in common? What did the 10 baggers have in common? The 100 baggers? What do they have in common? How about the losers? What did all the losers have in common? Well, when you kind of, figure out these patterns, it's a little bit like AI, right? Machine learning. You kind of figure it out. And the answers are in this book. I kind of figured out, hey, here is the systems that the winning companies have, the stocks that can go up 10x. Because again, I've had so many of them. I figured out, what do they all have in common? They do have a couple of things in common. And when you get this book, you'll understand. And what about the losers? The losers have many things in common as well. By the way, let me run a quick disclaimer here just so that let me run this disclaimer over here, and we'll go back to the charts. Okay. So Tesla's in a long-term downtrend. I think we'll probably bottom out at, I don't know, $50. Maybe if we're lucky, maybe $50. Again, the business is not the stock is not the business. I talk about in my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. They have nothing to do with each other, okay? You can have an amazing business and the stock goes in the toilet, right? And that's what Tesla is right now. Or you can have a crappy business, but the stock still goes up for a number of reasons, which, again, I talk about in the book. Tesla right now is in a down channel and it will be heading lower. So Tesla's not looking good. I showed you Genius, GNS, pure garbage. Now let's talk about some winners. Winners for this week. NEXCF, one of my favorite stocks for 2023. I've given you the fundamentals. By the way, forget about anything I tell you. Again, listen to the signs, right? Don't be a signs denier. Don't be a signs denier. Now, here's what we know. Anytime a stock breaks out above the 50 and the 200 moving average on this chart, it seems to go significantly higher. We almost have 100% probability of success. Imagine if I told you, hey, you make this bet and your odds of success are nearly 100%. Would you take that bet? I mean, if you're smart, you would, right? Now, look, NEXCF, the first time it broke out of the 50 and 200 moving average, it went up 500%. Second time it went up, 900%. It's happening again. I mean, what else? I don't know what else I could tell you. By the way, again, it's all in my book. I've talked about this. This is not like I'm making this stuff up. This is my system. It's a system. In the book, I talk about the moving average, chart patterns, and the chart patterns and the moving average indicators that tell you when a stock is ready to explode. It's in the book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Get it on Amazon. NEXCF is giving off that signal right now. Again, this has worked for all the other stocks I've had in my career that went up 1,000%. Now, maybe it'll be wrong this time. I have no idea. But based on statistical probabilities, most likely will go up to $5, $7, realistically speaking. Again, I'm not making any price prognostications, any whatever, but I'm just talking about purely probability, statistical averages. No, I think we picked up on your questions, actually. We posted your questions. I don't know if, no, I definitely 100%, the questions you asked on the live stream with NEXCF, I did ask the questions. I don't know if, I think they were answered also. I think we answered the questions, no? I hope we did. But okay, so NEXCF, the chart looks amazing. I think we're going to see some very exciting things this week. The stock is breaking out. The momentum is really incredible. It's really, really incredible. This day trader chart looks great. Actually, no. Okay, so Friday, there was a little bit of weakness. It was weird. Friday was kind of a weird day. Friday was kind of a weird day because NASDAQ was up, and a lot of the penny stocks that were up earlier in the week that were down it was a little bit of a weird day. Overall, though, I mean, this thing is amazing. Again, look at this chart. By the way, weekly also. The weekly, look, if there's one thing that you need to know about technical analysis is this. You want to be long above the moving average, short below it. If you followed simply that, if you're a complete moron, and by the way, the stupider you are, the more successful you will be as an investor, because smart people, they overthink, they analyze, they look at financials, they do all sorts of spreadsheet models. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of it. The stupidest people make the most money. Look, if you were a complete moron and you bought NEXCF when it broke out above the 50 moving average in 2019 at was 50 cents, it went to 250. Again, it was back at 76 cents. It went to $7.50. So you would have made 5x, 10x your money. And now it's happening again. So if you're a complete moron, you know what to do, right? We're above the moving average. And most importantly, the volume is exploding. So, price follows volume. The MACD is crossing over. All the indicators are very positive for NEXCF. Improvement to the bottom line. Yes. You know what? I think listen, let me be very candid with you. I have no idea if there's going to be improvement to the bottom line. I mean, that's not my investment thesis. Has nothing to do with the bottom line. Will they break even? They may. I have no idea. I think what's going to happen is this. I think the value of the stock is going to be driven by the following factors for NEXCF. It's going to be all about more contracts, more of these, 3D model contracts. They got one from Amazon, which is what, 5 million, 7, whatever the number is, over $5 million, right? That's a big number, right, for a small company. And they're just getting started. They just got Procter and Gamble sign up. They're going to get others. They're probably going to get Walmart and Target. So I would not be surprised if they exit 2023 at a 25 million revenue run rate. So, and I have a video I put out earlier. It's on YouTube. It's on one of the channels. But basically, I talk about, how can the stock be a 750 stock? Very simply, I think just one of the paths is, again, if they get to 25 million run rate, I think the market's going to go absolute bananas. They're going to give it a 30x multiple. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what high growth companies do that are in, really unique areas. I think AR, AI, that's going to be the place to be in 2023. Those are going to be the hot themes. Now, will they make money? Will they be profitable? Will there be bottom line? I have no idea. I actually don't care. I mean, I really don't care. I don't think it's going to matter. I think long term, at some point it's going to matter. But again, look, you guys know these stocks, they don't move based on, it really has nothing to do with the fundamentals. It's really based on, the psychology. Okay, so let's look at a couple of other stocks. Let's look at a couple of the, actually, before I get into the meme stocks, let me pull up another one of my favorites here, NMLSF, Novomentis. Again, amazing looking chart. We're above the 50 moving averages. Stock is 7 cents. It's, I don't know, it's a $7-8 million market cap. By the way, this is the weekly chart. Now, one of the things I tell you in my book, again, it's going back to the book, I'm not making these things up, as I go along. I have a system I use, right? To find 10 bagger stocks. And this is the system. I look at a stock. One of the things I talk about in the book, my 60-second due diligence, I want to look at a chart pattern where there's a big wide base, big double bottom base. That's what we have over here. And I also like to see stocks where there was a huge high made years before. So stock has a track record. It's part of the DNA now. So this stock was $3 based on this chart, right? $3, maybe even higher. Look at this, $80. Now this is, I don't know what this is, but the chart, that's what the chart says, $80. It was a stock $80. I don't know. Was it $10? I mean, based on this old history, it was a shell, whatever it was, who knows? So my theory is stocks can always like to go back to their old highs. There's multiple reasons for this, but do I think that Novomentis is going to go to $80? Probably not. Do I think it's going to go to $10? I don't know. But do I think it's going to go to $1? Yes, I do believe it's going to go to $1. I think we have a very good chance of that happening. Can it go to $3? Yeah, I think it has a shot. It really does have a shot of going there. Look what's happening. We're breaking out. Now, all we got to do is just go above this moving average at, where are we? 13 cents, and it's getting closer. It's 12 cents. By the way, this is the American chart. So when this stock goes to 13 cents, and it could happen. It just needs a little bit of a boost. They're going into their phase 2A clinical trial, so there's going to be a lot of catalysts. It's going to be incredible. Let me go in here for 1 second. So bottom line is, I think that Novomentis could be one of our big winners this year. Again, a lot of people say, oh, this chart looks terrible. The chart looks terrible. I mean, there's multiple ways of looking at a chart. I like charts where they've bottomed out and they've been de-risked. Okay. I'm, risk averse. I don't like to take risks. I like things where you're basically picking it. It's like I like the Warren Buffett philosophy. And this is basically the Warren Buffett method of picking stocks. You're picking up cigar butts off the ground for free. Okay. It's free. The stock is basically free. We're not buying a stock that's, trading at, a new 52-week high, whatever it is. There's really very minimal downside the way I see it. Again, I could be wrong. But then again, this is the same exact philosophy I have used to find stocks like you see on the bottom of the screen. It's the same philosophy I used. If you've been watching my live stream, I've been talking about, it's the same philosophy I've applied to, Peak FinTech. By the way, that's right, PKK, exact same chart. PKK looked exactly. CBDT, that was a 50 bagger. The CBDT chart looked exactly like Novomentis right now. So you know what? Again, I'm not that bright. All I know how to do is recognize patterns. I've noticed certain patterns. Success leaves clues. I've recognized the patterns over the last 25 years of the countless stocks I've introduced to investors that went up 10x to 100x. What are the patterns of success? And they're in this book. So in 10 Bagger Blueprint, get it on Amazon. Again, if you haven't gotten this book, you're going to lose money because if you don't have this book, the odds are stacked against you. Now, based on my kind of pattern recognition, what I've seen of other winners, this is a chart. This is a stock that could become easily a 10 bagger, and we could be $1 or $2 stock even. I know it sounds crazy, but look, we'll find out. We'll know in a couple months, right? Finally, before we get into the other, the meme stocks, SOFI, Snap, AMC, Be Big Ole, let me finish off one more, AIMLF. AIML, by the way, same thing. Look at this chart. Where was AIML at one point? I mean, this is crazy. Was it $300? Can it go to $300? Can AIMLF go to $300? That would be 1,000. That would be like a 600 bagger, a 600x. I don't know about it. I don't know about that. I don't think it'll go to 1,000. I think it could go. I think we have a shot at going to $1 plus. I think we do have a realistic shot. I know it sounds crazy, but hey, the stock was $1 just a little while back, right? Or Canadian dollar, so 70 cents American. I think it'll go there again. We'll get some really exciting catalysts. By the way, I finally got to watch. This is the watch. I actually was wearing it the other day. It's actually pretty good. They're going to use this for remote patient health monitoring. Sorry, I'm got like cotton in my mouth all of a sudden. But yeah, basically this is the watch. Great technology. They got this huge patent on the wearable technology business. So this thing is looking good. Again, it's been de-risked. The stock is a nickel. You're picking this up at a nickel. It's basically a $5 million valuation. And they have a very broad patent that's already getting cash flow from people, voluntarily, complying. But what they're going to do is they're probably going to have to sue a couple of these companies that are infringing, which is a lot of them. It's a 20 billion plus market. So, they might pick up, 10 million a year in royalties, right? It's not out of reason, right? 10 million a year. What is that worth? It's worth, let's call it 100 million net present value, right? Net present value, 100 million. So you got a 20x upside, and that's just the patent. That's just the patent enforcement. So that one has, it's got a lot of upside possibilities. Let me address a couple of these questions here. Hang on. Oh, the margins for sure are going to be higher. Yeah, because they're out of that stupid vacuum business, the whole e-commerce business. Look, they made a lot of sense. Actually, there was a lot of common sense for them to do it at the time, but it's really good that they're out of it. Yeah. Whoa. 3 billion valuation, a 30 bagger. If they can do 100 million in revenue, look. I think realistically, I don't think they're going to get to 100 million. I'll tell you why. I think they do have a shot of getting to 25, and they're probably going to get to a 50 million run rate. I think what's going to happen if they get to a 50 million run rate, here's what I think happens. I think somebody buys them out. I think a company like Adobe or one of these companies would have to buy them out because it's a very valuable position. It's a next generation technology. So I think they'll probably be bought out before they get to 100. If they can get to 25, they're going to have a lot of eyeballs on that company. If they get to 50, for sure. Look, Figma just bought. Adobe bought Figma for $40 billion, right? So would they pay $1 billion for NEXCF? Yeah, if they got to 50 million, they might, because it's a very similar multiple for Figma. So yeah, that's again, it's 100. Okay, No. Look, Benjamin. Now, look, the company pays me to promote the stock, and I'm not saying it's going to do 100 million revenues. I would say there's no chance. There is absolutely no way that they will do 100 million revenues. I can tell you that. I don't see it happening. We're in January. What are we in February? We're in February already, right? The run rate is what, 5 million, whatever, for the 3D model business. They might do 25 to 30. That I think is realistic. 100 is crazy talk. 100 is crazy talk. I think they're going to get to 25, 30. No. Again, he's 100. I call him a 100x CEO. But again, I think he could make this into a 100x company. Now, here's what it could mean. Again, this thing could become a very different business. Like, when I talk about 100x CEOs, I gave a couple examples in my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. The business you're in now doesn't have to be the business that you ultimately goes to 100x, right? So NEXCF, what if they all of a sudden they sell the business for $1 billion to, I don't know, Adobe, whatever, right? They redeploy that capital to something else. Again, they're doing spin-outs. Look, the bottom line is this guy knows how to create value. Do I think this thing could become a 100-bagger stock? Do I think that this thing could go to $70? I don't know. That's really out there. That's out there. I get it. I use the 100x CEO as kind of like the possibilities. Could it happen? It could over a long period of time. If the guy really wants to go there, I think he could do it. But I'm focused short term. I'm focused. Look, let's get to a 10x first. Let's get to $7. When we get to $7, let's revisit that conversation again. So again, I'm a conservative guy. At the end of the day, I know I talk about crazy stuff, but I'm realistic. Like everything I talk about, I know it sounds crazy. I thought, 10 baggers, 100 baggers. Yeah, it's all based and grounded based on certain things happening. I think can NEXCF become a $7 stock? Yeah, I think it can. $70, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Okay, it's not going to happen. It could go to 15 if things go, again, depends what happens with Apple, launching the AR glasses. We could have some, incredible things. I see what you're saying. It's interesting. It's interesting. Yeah. So if Amazon, again, yeah, that's okay. You have an interesting, okay. So that's an interesting perspective. Again, Amazon, their initial order is like 5 million. Maybe they can ramp it up. Maybe they can get to 20 million. So let's say Target, Walmart, other companies, they get another. So I think realistically, here's what I think. I think if they can get to 25 million, that's all I care about. I don't care about anything else, right? If they can get to $7, this stock can go to become a $7 stock. It becomes a 10-bagger. I'm happy. Everything else, let's talk about it later. Again, let's not get too crazy. All right, now let's go into some of the crazy stocks. Speaking of crazy, let's talk about some of the meme stocks. We're gonna go through a couple of charts. Be big, Vinco Ventures. What's going on with Vinco Ventures? It's a dog with fleas, guys. This is in a downtrend. I don't see this thing getting. I don't know. It's one of these crazy stocks. I have no idea why people trade it. Makes no sense. This thing is still in a long-term downtrend. It's not getting any better. It's a dog with fleas. I'm not saying it's going to go to zero, but it's a dog with fleas. How about AMC? I'm sorry, ape people, but yeah, this is another dog with fleas. This company should have been put out of business. And it's the short squeeze. I got to tell you something. Look, I really feel sorry for all these people who get into this, like, we're part of the movement. We're part of this movement. We're gonna show Wall Street, the short sellers. Oh yeah, we're gonna unite. And guys, you're being used. You're pawns. It's like kind of like the CEO of this company. He's a sharp guy. By the way, the CEO of this company, I got to give the guy credit because he's been playing this thing like a fiddle, right? He changed the symbol to ape. The whole thing is crazy. this thing is like just banana. No pun intended. Look, it's a failing business. The movie theater business is a failing business. I'm sorry. The guys who were shorting this, they had it right. Fundamentally, they were right to short the stock. I talk about this in my book. Look, short sellers are good for the market. Now, Have short sellers have attacked my companies, have attacked my clients many times. I mean, NEXCF was attacked by short sellers. We fought back. The stock moved up higher, but it's part of a normal, system of checks and balances. I gave a guy an example. It's like, oh yeah, the guy says, oh, I hate short sellers, and listen, it's not a moral issue or this or that. You hate snakes, right? You hate rattlesnakes, right? Everybody hates snakes. But guess what? If we killed all the snakes, the world would be overrun by rats and rodents, and they would eat all the crops, and we'd all starve to death. Okay, so snakes serve an important function, just like wolves. Okay, they were killing out wolves. I don't know, years back, they were killed almost all the wolves in North America. Guess what happens when you kill all the wolves, right? People are freaked out by wolves, right? But what happens when you kill the wolves? All the populations of, I don't know, deer, elk, whatever it is, explode because, there's no predators to keep it in balance, and they overrun. And, if you go, like, I don't remember, in suburbs, in a lot of suburbs, I know even in New York suburbs, they're like deer running around, and, they run the, I mean, look, the deer are there to be eaten by the wolves. I mean, that's, there's a pattern, right? At the end of the day, we all die, we get eaten by worms, right? There's a chain of life. You don't fight nature. The short sellers serve a valid function. And look, if the short sellers are wrong, long term, the stocks go up. Like I give an example, Herbalife, right? So Bill Ackman was shorting Herbalife, and he had a thesis. He was saying, oh, it's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. Is Herbalife, the multi-level marketing company, is it a pyramid scheme? It kind of is. It kind of is, but it's not a fraud. It's definitely not a fraud. I mean, by the way, all these MLM things, people say, oh, it's a scam. It's this. At the end of the day, the MLM business actually has helped a lot of people. Okay, these pyramid schemes, whatever you want to call it, is there abuse? For sure. But I can tell you there's probably more people that's actually helped. Like, it trained them how to sell, it trained them how to think positively. It actually is very beneficial. It's kind of like a cult in a way. It's like a religion, right? So most religions are actually very good for people, right? So atheists are actually people who don't do well. If you look at statistics, people who are religious do better in life than atheists. It's just statistically speaking. So multi-level marketing, whatever you may not like about it, it's a scam, pyramids. Maybe it is, but generally speaking, the people who are in those pyramid schemes, they've produced a lot of success for people. So that's all I can say. So Herbalife was a stock that was shorted, and it was a massive short squeeze. Bill Ackman lost billions of dollars. Carl Icahn was on the other side of the trade. He made the money. So it was a crazy story. So look, we're going to find out what happens. But anyway, AMC is bullshit. This thing is going to go to zero. I really feel bad for you guys that are, believe that this thing is, oh, we're going to be banding together. Guys, you're suckers. It's sort of like you're suckers. It's like you're the Germans who believed that Hitler was going to bring on the, great Third Reich or whatever it is, or, the suckers who believed in, communism, Stalin, you believe these dictator type. It's a scam. It's a scam. Okay. Don't believe the hype. It's a scam. Again, I'm not saying the company's a fraud. I'm just saying it's going to go to zero. It's a failing business model. You're basically cannon fodder. You are cannon fodder. If you're buying a stock like this, you are cannon fodder. You're not doing anything by buying a stock that's in a short squeeze. You're not helping anybody. You're not a martyr. You're not, I think this thing is, I actually think this thing with the short selling, this short squeeze stuff, I think because so many people, let me see. Okay. So XELA, it's another stock that's going to go to, I mean, look, some of these stocks are never coming back. XELA is a meme stock. This thing is never coming back. It's a dog with fleas. HLBZ. How about this guy? HLBZ. This is interesting. Look at this pop. And again, I think it's a pop based on, some of this crazy stuff happening. But it's not going to, it's done. It's done. It popped. It couldn't break out above the 50-day moving average. Excuse me, the 200. It's going to go back down. This thing is, again, it's a dog with fleas. HLBZ going back down. It's going to close the gap. It's a dog with fleas. Please, guys, this is garbage. Garbage. Companies going out of business. Do not buy these stocks. Okay, let's look at a couple of other meme stocks. SOFI. I like this one better. And this is actually legitimate business. Now, SOFI is interesting. SOFI, this thing could be making a move. This thing could be making a move. We got a kind of it looks kind of like a double bottom formation. I like that. You know, we broke out above the 50 moving average. We might be going above the 200. It's got to close above $6. If SOFI can close above $6, it might be very well worthwhile. It's not a huge, not very powerful trend right now. It's got to go above that $6 to get me interested. I mean, this thing is a good speculation. It's a decent speculation. I mean, it's a decent speculation. If you're long SOFI, I think you got a shot of making money here. I think SOFI is a decent speculation. How about Snap? So Snap, it's pretty interesting, right? Snap is looking pretty interesting. I think Snap, so we're down, was it 90% almost? I mean, it's trying to build a bottom here. It's trying to build a bottom. It might be making a run. Look, we're above the 50 moving average. So it's all of a sudden that gets my attention. The momentum is now up. Again, it's just like the NEXCF chart I showed you. Now, there could be a fake out because, again, look, there's been fake outs. It popped above the 50 moving average and it broke down below. It could be a fake out. I have no idea. I have no idea. You know, oh, by the way, look at this. There you go. Look, the wolves, you know, look, you know, there is everything in the world is perfect, right? This is, you know, God created a world is perfect. You may not think it's perfect, okay, because, you know, you have good, you have evil, but all these things, ultimately, there's a perfect system, okay? We're not aware of what the system is. Again, like, you know, this guy thinks, oh, the short sellers are evil. Oh, the rattlesnake is evil. Now, again, if I see a rattlesnake, I'm probably, my instinct, the human normal instinct is to want to kill the snake. Normal instinct. But you can't kill all the snakes, okay? Because if you do, you know, there's nobody that's going to be stopping. There's nobody that's going to eat all the rats, all the other stuff that eats the crops, okay? And all the wheat is going to be gone in, I don't know, how long? Give it a year. It's going to be gone. Okay, we're going to starve to death. So wolves. We need to have the wolves. The wolves keep all the other stuff, you know, controlled. Without the wolves, you know, and by the way, the wolves may attack you. Do wolves attack people? Absolutely. Sure. Hey, you know, that happens. It happens. You're in their neighborhood, right? So, you know, bring a gun. Yep. Okay, I'm not sure if I understand you. You're selling next. I don't know. You're selling next again. I have no. I didn't quite understand it. TBPMF, man, we haven't been involved in that thing in over maybe 18 months now. So I don't even know anything what's going on. Again, look, it's we work with different companies. Here's what all I can tell you. When the stocks are on the Wall Street Reporter platform, generally they do well. Once they're gone, I have no idea what happens. I'm usually, you know, if you kind of look at the statistics, when they're on our platform, the volume is up, the stocks do well. For whatever reason, you know, if the companies decide not to be on the platform, maybe they have nothing to talk about. So that's an indication. That's an indication. So TBP, I have no opinion. Look, it's a biotech stock. Biotech stocks, I think they're going to a clinical trial, whatever. Look, these things are binary. Either they have the goods or they don't have the goods. I could tell you with Nova Mentis, NMLSF, Nova Mentis, fuck. I mean, these guys, they're out of nowhere. They're starting the phase 2 clinical trials right now, right? They just got approval. They're waiting for a couple little things. They're getting, I don't know, some paperwork, getting the patient enrollment. They're probably going to start in the next couple of weeks. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I am not speaking to the company. It could be starting in the next few months, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I have no idea, but it's going to be happening very quickly. So that's very impressive. That's why I think Nova Mentis, could be 5 times higher than it is now because, again, biotech stocks in general, when they're in that phase 2 trial, they should be trading higher, usually 50, 100 million, depending on the drug. Okay, so Snap. Look, based on the 50-day moving average, you want to be long the stock. The ultimate signal to buy is going to come at $15. If this thing breaks above, $14, $15, that will tell you that we have a new uptrend. We'll find out. We'll find out in just a little while. How about DraftKings? Again, this is one of my bellwether stocks. DraftKings looks like it might be breaking out. We're above the 50 moving average. We're closing in on the 200. We got a big double bottom. Let's see what happens. I mean, DraftKings actually looks pretty decent right here. DraftKings could have a pop. If we break out above, let's say $15, if we go to $16, to be conservative, let's just say, just to be super conservative, 1750. If this thing manages to go to 1750, I think that is absolute proof of a new uptrend, and you want to get on board because it's going to go, I don't know about to the moon, but it'll be a triple. It'll be for sure a triple. It'll go to $50. I don't think it'll exceed 60 for quite a while, but By the way, TDOC is another one. TDOC getting close to the 50 moving average, building a base. Kathy Woods loves the stock. By the way, Kathy Woods, everybody says, oh, she's an idiot. Oh, she's a pretty sharp lady. Kathy Woods is very, very smart. Now, she basically, look, if you're buying in that fund, again, they're not paying me. I have no investment, whatever. But basically, the premise is this. You're buying into the ARK fund. You're buying that, essentially that, what do you call it? You're buying the growth stock portfolio. Now, that's what you're buying. She's not you're buying that strategy, right? She's not going into, I don't know, oil stocks or value stocks. No, purely, these disruptive innovative companies, right? And it's been in a downtrend, right? We know this, right? So, and she loves the stock. So I have my eye on TDOC. I think when TDOC moves, it'll be very interesting. And by the way, it's also going to be very bullish for AIML because it's in the same space, pretty much the same space, right? So AIML, keep an eye on TDOC. When TDOC starts moving, AIML is likely to follow in a big way. Oh, sorry. Okay, let me get out of this. Okay. Okay, so TDOC, let's take a look at the ARK. Let's look at ARK. Interesting. So ARK is actually above the 50-day moving average. You know what? The ARK actually could have a pop. ARK actually looks pretty good. We're above the 50 moving average for the first time since, look, I mean, we've had a couple of fake outs. We've had it for sure. We've had a couple of fake outs. Technically the slope of this chart is still, it's still kind of a negative slope. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fake out. I think a lot of these these big tech stocks still may have a way to go. I think we need a capitulation. I think probably it's going to happen in March. By the way, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a bellwether for penny stocks. And it's interesting. Look, Bitcoin broke out above the 50 and the 200 moving average. Technically, it's a buy signal, right? I mean, forget about how much you hate Bitcoin or whatever it is. It's a buy signal. Now, I really don't like this chart pattern. It's too weird. It's too suspicious. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, all of a sudden it just starts climbing. It's just too weird. This is not natural. It's not organic. I mean, markets don't just go up like that. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I mean, it's just not normal. I mean, that's not a bottom. Do I think it can go higher? I mean, look, the trend is up. I mean, the momentum is up. It's probably going to continue going higher, but I think it's probably doing a dead cat bounce into like the 28, 29 range. It could go to 28, 29. You need just to get all the last suckers in before it collapses. I would not be surprised if that's what happens. I mean, this is not stable. This is not like a normal stable chart. I mean, this is not a stable chart. I mean, stocks don't just go parabolic like that, like out of nowhere, Bitcoin, whatever asset. It's not normal. I mean, this thing is, I would avoid Bitcoin. Like this thing is, it's a dog with fleas. It might very well go a little bit higher. But then at 20,000, it kind of fizzles out and that's it. It's all done. Yeah, by the way, guys, I may be introducing another mega moon stock, another volcano rocket stock this week. So we may have, that's my treat for those of you watching at the last few minutes. Make sure you're watching my Telegram channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Telegram channel, which is free, by the way. Click the link in the video description below to get on the Telegram channel because I'm going to announce the new stock. And by the way, it's a cheap stock. I think it can go up. It could be a 10 bagger or at least a triple or quadruple in a few weeks. So that's right. You buy the stock. It's let's just say it's under 25 cents. It could be a significant mover where you can, easily double or triple your money. The last time I introduced the stock in that particular sector, it went up 400 or 500% in a couple of weeks. So this is going to be very exciting. Keep your eye on the Telegram feed this week. The announcement might come tomorrow. It might come Tuesday, but there's going to be an announcement this week. We're going to have a couple of new stocks we're going to be bringing in, and they're going to be going to the moon. By the way, that's not advice. I'm not making any guarantees. Listen, Benjamin, from your mouth to God's ear, if this can become 100 bagger, if this thing goes to $70, I mean, it'll be great. Look, my target is 750, potentially, again, depending on the market conditions. I think 750 is like kind of the normal type of thing based on the organics. But if the AR theme AI becomes hot because of Apple, that would supercharge it. That would throw gasoline on the fire, and it could go parabolic to 15. I would take profits at those levels. I mean, that's just me, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, look, it's I don't know. Look, she's pretty smart. I think here's the problem. A lot of these stocks got very expensive. They got crazy. Roku. Wow, $50. Crazy. I mean, this Roku is broke out of 50 moving average. I mean, right now the trend is up. Technically, the trend is up. I'd be long Roku. Again, I'm not recommending it, whatever. I don't know if it's a good risk reward ratio. I don't know anything about it. I mean, it looks bullish. Again, it's got to break above a 200 moving average. It's actually, it's not bearish anymore. It's not. I mean, we got kind of a little bit of I think we're trying to build a bottom. I think Netflix. I don't know about Netflix. Let me see this Netflix. I don't know about this Netflix. I mean, I think this is like, if you look at this kind of, it bounced from this bottom of like I think this is getting a little bit ahead of itself. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Netflix. Like the whole thing, I think that's a business that could be disrupted. I know it sounds crazy, whatever, but again, the whole thing is just kind of weird. The whole the whole political bullshit, the whole woke, whatever bullshit, even for a Hollywood left-wing thing. I mean, it's just too, it's too much of a weird company for me. It's just too fucking weird. And I think I tried Netflix. I don't know why I got it, but I was on for a couple of weeks. I don't know. I didn't find anything interesting on it. It was, did nothing for me. How about Amazon? Amazon chart not looking good. Amazon chart, I mean, could be a bounce, but again, trend is down. We're below the moving averages. It's not looking good. How about Meta? Interesting. Potentially, was this a bottom? It looks like it's had a nice little rally, but I mean, again, it's still below the moving average, which are trending down. I don't know. I don't trust this. I really don't trust this thing here. I think, it's very rare for these things just to turn on a dime, to have a V-shaped bottom. Those are quite rare. I mean, it's not, again, I don't think we got to such an extremely low valuation. So I'm not a believer in that one. How about Apple? It's weird. I mean, it's so weird. Apple actually has managed to kind of hang on all this time. And it's actually, I mean, the strength of this chart is pretty impressive. Look at this. It's crazy. I mean, technically, the trend is up. And we might get a buy signal if this MACD crosses over on the weekly. Fascinating. I mean, Apple, you know what? I got to tell you something, guys. This Apple chart it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, because this thing right here, I mean, this is a bullish chart. It looks like we're going to break above the moving average. This Apple could be going higher. And if Apple goes higher, that would, in theory, take the market with it. I mean, I don't know what's going to make Apple go higher. Is it the AR glasses? I don't know. The Apple chart looks very good, though, which is interesting. The Apple chart looks very interesting. Again, it's not like super bullish. And by the way, that's the thing. In these markets, at like key pivot points, key turning points, you got this kind of vague picture. Because again, if it was easy to make money with stocks, everybody would be a billionaire. That's the thing. Sometimes you got to take a risk. Now, the Apple chart, I would say, is extremely impressive. It's extremely impressive. I mean, here's what could make Apple go up. Here's what I think. I mean, what could make Apple a $500 stock? Okay, let's think. Now, they got a ton of cash, right? They got a ton of cash. AR glasses is number one. Now, number two is, what if they buy Tesla? What if they buy Tesla? I think that is a very natural acquisition for them, because ultimately these electric cars, it's crazy. I was in a Tesla for the first time. Actually, no, I was in one before, but this time I was actually sat on the driver's side, like, and it's interesting. I mean, I tell you, the ride was very comfortable. I think it was a model, not the top of the line, but like sort of near, I don't know, Model Z. I don't know. That's the thing. I hate the design of the cars. I think they're super ugly. I think it's just a copycat. It's like a melange of different designs. It's just like nobody had any original ideas. Super ugly car. And I'm not a whole fan of the EV thing. Look, I mean, we're going to go in that direction for sure. I'm sure in 7 years I'll be driving an EV. For now, I find the car has no soul, but the ride was very smooth. Is pretty impressive. For Apple, the whole control thing, the whole screen, everything. For Apple, I mean, I can't imagine a more natural acquisition than Tesla. There's nothing more natural. And by the way, how else are they going to grow? This is the last opportunity for them. Because again, by the way, the car, it fits in with everything. I mean, really, and the Tesla is to me, it's like the most organic type of the EV companies. It's probably the most kind of organic fit, because again, the design is clean. The whole thing, it makes sense for that kind of Apple ethos. And again, what did Apple buy? They made a couple of acquisitions. They bought those headphones, Beats or something like that. Made completely no sense to me, but whatever. I don't know. They bought that, right? They bought what else did they buy? I think Tesla's a much more organic, sensible acquisition than the Beats headphones. I mean, like headphones. Come on. I mean, like, I don't know. The car, I mean, it would make a lot of sense. It would make a lot of sense for Apple to buy Tesla. Now, they may have, what do you call it? They may have some problems, regulatory problems getting it done. But, again, Apple, I can't tell you what's going to make that stock go up. It could be the AR glasses. Maybe Apple announces that they're buying NEXCF. I don't know. That's a joke, by the way. Don't take that seriously. But yeah, you never know. Look, bottom line is things are looking very impressive for NEXCF. Let me look at for way higher than it is. Yeah. Yeah, look, let's talk again when the stock is 750. I think we have a shot. We have a pretty good path towards getting the 750 on NEXCF. What else? Yes, I think that pretty much wraps up. So stocks with great looking charts. To wrap up, we got NEXCF, which is an amazing chart. Again, by the way, I'm showing you the weekly chart right here. This is the weekly chart, the American chart. I mean, this is amazing. Look at this. It's taking off like a rocket slowly. Like a rocket takes off. It doesn't just go like this, boom. It doesn't happen just like that. No, it goes. You ever see those videos of the Apollo 11? It starts off and then so the flames come out, it lifts. It's an amazing, really when you think about it, it's an amazing thing to have like the idea of a rocket, right? Just like this heavy hit. This thing weighs like, I don't know, millions of pounds, and it's just lifted off by this, rocket power. This, it's incredible. It's incredible. This thrust, this rocket thrust. It's an amazing thing. And that's what's happening right now. The rocket, the NEXCF rocket, has been ignited. It's on the launch pad. It's like the Apollo 11. The flames are shooting out, and it's just like. It hasn't cleared the tower yet. The tower is at $2. This thing needs to go to above $2. That's where the 200 moving average is. That's the tower. When it clears the tower, this thing is going to go straight up to the moon. Because again, that's where you have most of the resistance. I don't see anything between here and $2, really. I mean, maybe a little bit at $1.75, 50, whatever. But really, it's $2. So I think if you buy it here, it's a very, very good setup. Again, I'm shocked that people haven't figured this out. This is like so stupid. But again, look, that's it's like almost, it's like asking. Yeah, everybody thinks Warren Buffett is a genius, but the guy you're talking, he's a pretty simple guy. I mean, like all his investments are fairly obvious. He doesn't do anything like that like crazy. It's not like he's not doing like Cathie Wood's type stuff. He doesn't have a team of analysts analyzing disruptive innovation. All this. No, he buys like Coca-Cola or like things which are very obvious. And then later on, people say, "Oh, the guy's a genius. The guy's a genius." Listen, I think NEXCF, if you buy this stock here, and it goes to $15, yeah, people will be saying a year from now that you're a genius. Again, I'm not saying it's going there. I'm not making any advice or any of that, but again, and it's all based on the moving average system. I talk about it in my book, 10-Bagger Blueprint. Look, this is a system that Richard Dennis, every hedge fund on Wall Street, every successful trader uses this system. You buy a stock in the breakout above the 50 moving average or any asset. So Richard Dennis did this with commodities, and you do that. All you got to do is just follow the trend, buy the breakout, ride the trend. When the trend stops, get off. Get on to the next trend. So I think you should, tomorrow morning, you should place an order for 5 million shares at the market. NEXCF. No, I'm kidding. I'm not making any advice. I'm not making any suggestions. Okay, should you buy? Look, here's the, okay, let me be candid with you. I think realistic, again, I'm not making any advice here or whatever, but okay, so this is the NEXCF 1 hour chart. It's possible that it dips a little bit lower. It might dip like the 72 cents. It's kind of building maybe a little bit of a, I know you guys say, oh, it's a double bottom, a double top. It's not a double top. This is not a double. It could be. I don't think it is. I think we might have a pullback tomorrow or NEXCF, maybe into this like 75-cent range over here, because again, it broke out, it's consolidating, it's probably going to bounce around between 82 and 72 cents. So it's going to bounce around in this range for maybe a week or 2 weeks. It could happen. So look, I mean, again, everybody has a different, risk tolerance or whatever. But look, the way I look at these things, I'll be very candid. The way I look at I think next, most likely looking at that chart, I think it's probably going to sell off a little bit tomorrow. We might go to 75, 72. It's possible, right? So here's the thing. A lot of people say, yeah, we're going to buy this. And then when it gets to that level, they're usually too scared to buy at that point, right? It's kind of interesting the way these things work. Other people, again, I'll give you the complete flip side of that, right? There's other guys who are saying, you know what? I'm only going to buy NEXCF on a breakout. So they're not going to touch that stock until it breaks out above. Okay, I'll tell you exactly where the number is. There's people watching it, right, who are not going to touch NEXCF until it breaks out above $1. And by the way, that's also a smart bet. Again, you could buy it here, right? You're taking a little bit, maybe a little more risk if you buy it at 70 cents, right? Or you could wait till it breaks out above $1 because then the trend is proven, right? But then what happens is when it goes to $1, all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of momentum and it might just rip. Like you may not get it at $1. It might go to $1.15 or whatever. You may not be able to get in. I mean, that's the way these things work, right? So, I'm just giving you kind of the thing. I mean, long term, I think the trend is looking good. I think this is going to be a big winner. So I'm not sure if you're asking a question. Wait. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I understand the question. Is it a question or Paulo? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Oh, by the way, I was about to say this. Look, here's the reality. You know what? If a stock is going to be a 10 bagger, right? If a stock is going to $10, I don't care if you get in at a nickel, you get in at $1. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The big money is made. It's like, it's crazy. This is the funny thing. I remember trying to buy some real estate, and it was like this is the bottom of the market in Las Vegas, right? And I bought one condo, it was like 50 grand, right? And I more than doubled the money in a couple of years, but actually, if I held on, I would have made 4x. But the problem, I was negotiating. I was over negotiating on over $1,000, $2,000 or something stupid. I was an idiot. I was a moron because look, it doesn't matter. Look, if you have a long-term investment philosophy, if you think, hey, this is going to work out, does it make a difference if you pay 50 grand or 52 grand, or if you pay 70 cents or 90? It doesn't make a difference if something is going to go, if it's going to go to, a triple or 4x. It makes no difference. So, you got to look at the big picture. So again, I'm not making any investment advice or any of that, but yeah, look at the moving average. Can the stock pull back? I think it can pull back tomorrow. Very likely it will pull back. Just based off the charts here. Yeah, I think it probably pulls back to 70 cents. So 6 cents. You got to base it in this kind of 70 cent range. I think that's probably what's going to happen because it's got to shake out a lot of people. Look, a lot of people got into it over here. It broke out from 50 cents. Look, every time the stock breaks out, it pulls back. It's totally normal. It's been happening for years. It'll always happen. So that's the way it is. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you get a copy of the book, 10 Bagger Blueprint. It's on Amazon. It's going to tell you everything you need to know. Paulo, get this book. It's going to tell you everything you need to know of how to analyze stocks, how to find stocks that have that 10x to 100x upside. It's got a lot of deep insider information. It'll change your life. It's a very good investment. Only $15. I guarantee if you don't make 1,000 times your money, ask for a refund. I'll give you a complete refund. Again, if you buy this book for 15 grand, if it doesn't help you make an extra $15,000 in your portfolio, ask for a refund. Ok, Paolo. Grazie mille. I don't know if you speak italiano, but we sold a lot of books in Germany. So yeah. So actually, yeah, for some reason, the Germans love this book. The US, Canada. This is great stuff. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. See you on the next live stream. Probably we'll do one next week. So, Paulo, hope you get the book. Make sure you go through it. I don't know if you're an experienced investor, go straight to page 17. It goes to all the good stuff. And next week, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer any specific questions that you have based on the book. Thank you, guys.